Building Stories is a research project that is developing a technical platform that brings together data sets on the built environment to understand the likelihood of vacancy in urban and rural areas across Ireland.
The core of the issue is that the built environment is not efficiently used in Ireland. So what we have been doing since the beginning of the project is trying to engage with people that are experts in property, vacancy and housing to see what they feel is the problem behind vacancy, behind the lack of tackling vacancy really. So the three key issues that came out of this stakeholder engagement were the fact that there is a lack of a clear definition of what vacancy is. There is a lack of accurate, dynamic data at the granular scale of buildings and sites. And there is a lack of a strategic management of vacancy at the policy level and in practice.
So the technical solution is basically to bring a lot of different proxy but also real data sets into a GIS, a geographical information system, and then use predictive modeling to query that data model. It's hugely ambitious, but we know it is possible because it has been achieved in a couple of other EU countries, such as in France with the BDMB.
BDMB is France's national building database, developed in 2022. It's a transformative management tool for the built environment and covers over 95% of buildings in France. At its core, BDMB is a really powerful aggregator. Crucially, it shows that this has been done elsewhere in Europe, operating under the same data governance laws.
We need concrete protocols, specifications, standards, platforms put in place, such as the ones we're developing in the Building Stories project, to enable that data sharing, to engender a new way of working for our state agencies, so that they have trusted platforms for sharing data, and so that we could transform the whole delivery of infrastructure in the country, which is a national priority right now.
So the project really consists of three parts. The first one is all about the data. So it's putting the data together in this geospatial platform. The second part is visualizing that, so allowing people to interact with the data and see what's happening. And the third part is us trying to predict vacancy. So what we want to do is take all these different data sets and merge them together. And the challenge is to do so because they're all in different formats, different time scales, different spatial scales. So it's not an easy task to do that. But we also want to do it in such a way that it's robust and scalable, so that as more data sets become available, we can automatically ingest them into our platform. And this is the first time that this has been done in Ireland to date.
We bring in a lot of different data from different data sets. We do some ingestion, we clean, we standardize, make it more interoperable. And also there's the spatial component there, so we make it more spatially interoperable as well. Then we bring that data in, we store it in partitioned databases, and then from there we do some further processing with our machine learning model to gather inference, in this case vacancy. And then it's gone to our visualization where the end user can visualize and query that information in a way which is digestible to somebody who might not have a technical background.
We're lucky to be working with Monaghan County and Cork City Council. They're two local authorities that are really at the forefront of addressing vacancy at the moment in Ireland. The exciting thing about the Living Lab is that it allows us to work as collaborators on an equal footing with the local authorities who are working on this problem. So we bring that research background and insight from other jurisdictions about how the problem is being addressed elsewhere, and they bring that knowledge of the on-the-ground context that we can build together and work together for a good solution.
We want to be in a position where we're collecting data that is useful for the current crisis and will be helpful in 5, 10, 15 years. And so it's really awesome to hear about Building Stories' plan to use tools like AI to classify some of that information. When we started talking about this, we were able to compare notes a little bit and see how, can we validate each other's information to help improve each other's work. Some of these programs that can come out of this and this data that can come out of this will help to, implement more data-driven solutions or insights into our development plan.
If you want to do best practice planning and you want to do really good city urban planning, we need the spatial data, and that to me is a fundamental for really good spatial planning, sustainable development. We need to be able to see what do we have and to map that digitally. If we did have that data, we could be much more innovative in terms of our solutions. You know, we could get economies of scale, we could get economies of repetition. We're just not capturing those. We're missing that sort of pathway, that winning pathway. It is absolutely fundamental to how we sort of plan for the future, for the next 20 and 30 years.
I mean, the power of it is that we would be able to understand vacancy much better. At the moment, the focus of government is on individual buildings and looking to the public to renovate and bring back into use individual buildings and relying on the market. We would suggest that isn't working. We need to look at a larger scale. We need to look at programs for redeveloping or revitalising town centres that are coordinated and efficient. And we believe that the Building Stories platform will be a key tool in identifying and also managing that process.